Well, welcome to the Global Experience Podcast, where we're bringing to you live updates on how to be able to, feed the soul.
It's all about experiences. Tap in, tap in, tap in. You know what I'm saying? Today we bring you lovely message, lovely fruits, lovely gems. You know what I'm saying?
Get your bags together.
Let's get active. Let's get active. So today we're gonna be talking about something beautifully amazing. And I think I have one question. I always have questions. Um, is freedom internal or external?
Mm-hmm.
That's my question. That's my question to you, by the way. But what
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna be talking about today, really and truly, is about freedom. What true freedom really feels like, and what true freedom really is.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's either the internal freedom or the external freedom. So yeah, man, what do you think?
If anything, I
hmm
will have the audience be the judge of that.
what they think on true freedom?
Like if anything, to kind of still build more of our community, it would be best to kind of switch gears saying like, okay, we're going to be talking about freedom, but you guys, what do
hmm
y'all think true freedom would look like? Is it expressed internally or externally?
Well,
Drop you know your thoughts
yeah. Well,
in the
I'm not even gonna
comments.
wait for you to drop your comments. Me, I'm gonna tell you straight away. Freedom is internal for me. For me personally, I believe freedom is internal. You know, once you gain internal freedom, externals are externals. That's what I think. From my experience, I'm going to tell you the reason why I think that anyway. So, yes, madam.
So what does freedom mean?
Freedom.
Mm,
Freedom is to be free. I can describe what internal freedom means.
just say what freedom means.
Because freedom to me is really internal, I can give you depths of what internal freedom means. Yes, now.
Okay, hold
And
on, please.
and then after, if you want to give me what, if you want to tell me what freedom means, you tell me what freedom means.
Hold on,
But me,
please.
freedom is to be free.
Okay, Foodie.
Uh,
But I feel like before we delve deep into
mm-hmm.
the internal versus external,
Yeah.
let's kind of
Okay.
float into it. Because I feel
Oh,
like you're already speeding into having
I am already there.
I know,
I
but
am already there.
the audience isn't there with us yet.
Oh yeah, well they have to catch up because, as I said, I know more about internal freedom. External freedom is external freedom, but yeah, it is what it is. But freedom, what is freedom for you? Since you're asking me and I want to talk
I,
about internal, what is freedom for you?
Papa,
Papa, Mama,
you keep running. Where are you running to so
I'm the
quickly?
fastest on the planet.
I hear you, Cheetah.
Yes.
However,
Mm-hmm.
what I need is
Mm-hmm.
for us to guide through it, like how we did with our last episode.
Are they inside?
Okay, Pop.
So babe, what
So
is freedom?
no,
What do you
I
mean?
asked
What do
you.
you mean
I
no?
asked you this
Okay, I don't
first.
know what freedom is.
Okay,
So
that's
what is
fair.
freedom?
Freedom
Mm-hmm.
has can mean for a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
It could be through liberation.
Mm-hmm.
It could mean in terms of having the leisure or the choice to do whatever it is that you desire
Mm-hmm.
without no authority, with no rules, no regulations, just this a
Yeah.
level of just you being able to decide for yourself how you would like to move.
Okay.
And that's just a paraphrase of what freedom means to me in general.
Okay. That's good. I'm glad. At least you've given our viewers a definition of what freedom means.
Uh,
Yeah. So now can I define my internal freedom? Yeah, because the description or the definition you gave for freedom is very good, it's very nice, it's very powerful. It's something that yeah, it sticks with um the whole foundation or the whole true meaning of what freedom is. But as you said, to be able to do whatever you want without basically anyone restricting you, right? But there's some type of freedom in this world that people are restricted regardless whether they decide they want to do it or not. Because there is a restriction on it, they cannot be free.
Mm.
Yeah, and then so then if they want to define freedom for themselves, they are not free. If they should go to your definition to be able to do everything they want without no restrictions, and
Mm.
they're being restricted to maybe let's say go outside, they got curfews, and then that's not freedom. You see, that's not freedom. Maybe someone on the other side hasn't even made it, got a passport yet, but they want to travel out. There's restrictions, so you're not free. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah, to that person, they haven't really acquired your freedom.
But that's where the conversation is the fact that
Yeah,
that would that's how I would describe true freedom to be, is having that leisure, having that decision to be able to do
yeah,
what it is that you would want without external factors
yeah,
that will impact you and your choice. Because as for me, from what I've always attributed freedom to be,
yeah,
is the fact that we're not can never really be truly free from this life of ours unless we let go of all of the rules and regulations that's on us, that's external, that's free, that's not part of who we are externally.
that's where me I disagree, but I'm gonna leave you to keep going.
Okay, where true freedom lies.
Yeah.
Okay, well, more so because I feel like true freedom really lies is with the fact that you're able to physically be able to do whatever it is that you want to do.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would look like in terms of not having to go to work, not having to worry about bills, things like that. Like, to be like, from what I view, like the workforce, it's a form of enslavement. They,
Hmm.
even though quote unquote Abraham Lincoln freed us with the 13th Amendment, which was clearly a lie, it was never us truly being free. There was always a centered around, there's always loopholes, there's always some type of back end agreements that we may not be privy to, especially when it comes to laws, when it comes to, us, especially living in America, or even in the extensions of America's influence. It's very difficult to be able to truly express true freedom externally without the regulations that's been imposed on us.
Yeah. And that goes across the whole world. It's not only Americans or Black Americans or whoever. It goes worldwide because there's people who are elsewhere who they've been through slavery, but it wasn't as wild as what the Americans or those who got brought to America went through. There's people elsewhere as well who probably didn't get enslaved, but they're also not free. Do you know what I'm saying? They're also not free. There's people who don't have jobs,
Mm-hmm.
but they haven't tasted true freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, as we said, there's two ways to freedom: external freedom and internal freedom. You know what I'm saying? What does external freedom look like to you? Or what do you think goes, or what type of freedom basically stands? What type of freedom can bring you close to freedom? You know what I'm saying?
What type of freedom will bring you close to freedom?
When you compare external and internal, which of these two freedoms would you urge people to rather lean more into?
Oh,
You
I'll
know what I'm
lean more
saying?
into the external. Like externally, like outside of yourself, if you don't have any real freedom to be able to even make the decision on how you want to travel, whether if you want to work, live, this and that and the third, because if your needs, like your specific needs, aren't going to be met for your physical needs, there's a level of suffering that you will have to kind of contend with that would take away your freedom in order for you to be able to meet said needs.
Yeah, and that is where the pain is, or that is where hurts the most, because freedom is, by your definition, freedom is the ability to be able to do whatever you want with no restrictions. So if you have to meet certain requirements just to be free, are you truly free? You know what I'm saying? Linking it to the extent of freedom. That's why in the beginning of the convo, I just wanted to sit on internal freedom because, yo, like internal freedom is equal to peace of mind.
Hmm.
Once you have peace of mind, you're free. Like the ability to be able to think, do whatever you want, to be able to love, the ability to do all of those stuff without external validations. I feel like that's true freedom. Like that's like 10 out of 10
I hear
sort of
you.
freedom. But
But
mhm,
even the only way for you to be able to express your internal freedom, to be able to be free in that capacity, your external factor, like the external, has to match it as well.
when you say
Be-
the external has to match it, like what do you mean the external has to match it?
So, for instance, when you express for internal freedom to have that sense of peace of mind, what does that peace of mind would look like in terms of, would it be a level of security, knowing that you're in a place of belonging with your family, feeling loved, being loved,
Hmm.
also having some form of wealth, money, something like that to ensure the security of your peace of mind.
Yeah.
But in order for you to be to have all of those attributes,
Hmm.
you need to have that freedom outside of yourself externally. Like you
Yeah.
need to attribute, you need to be able to go and get that.
Yeah.
So that would have to be going to work,
Yeah.
which is another form of enslavement because you are locked into a set amount of
Yeah.
hours
Yeah.
required to do in order for you to be able to contribute to make bread home. You got to feed yourself. You got to go
Yeah.
and cook food, make food.
Yeah.
That's another form of it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So that's why I'm saying, in my view, is
Hmm.
that if you don't have the external liberties to be able to do what it is that you want to do internally, then it's a waste of time. You need to have external freedom first prior to you having that internal freedom.
So I disagree a bit. I disagree a bit because because external freedom without internal freedom is equal to emptiness. Like you can have all the external freedom you need, you can acquire all the externals you need, right? But if you're not internally free, you're gonna be empty.
Hmm.
Literally, you're literally gonna be empty. Like internal freedoms comes, it doesn't come with like borders, government controls, restrictions. It doesn't come with none of that. It's basically you being like at the at the top of the toppest piece with yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's where like that is the essence of freedom. That is the birth of freedom. That is where freedom begins. After you basically are eternally free, the externals can come and complement it and you have a both. But you can't really babes, someone someone sitting somewhere who doesn't work, who doesn't have a passport, who doesn't seek all of these external sort of freedom is eternally free, is so happy with themselves,
Mm,
happy with whatever energy or motion that is going on around them.
mm.
They're free. Oh,
Okay.
oh, they are free.
So then,
You know what I'm saying? But someone who hasn't acquired this internal sort of state of mind to be free,
mm,
this peace inside, someone who hasn't acquired that yet and is just looking for the externals, trying to make some money so they can make themselves look cool, trying to do this, trying to get a passport to travel, all of those stuff. They can acquire it all and externally be free. But once all of those stuff are acquired, like, or once you are acquiring all of those stuff, you're gonna be empty. You're gonna feel empty inside. I don't know about people, but it's the global experience. Talking from experience, so
but
that's my
see,
view.
I hear you in your point,
Yeah.
but there is a level of, especially when you named like a person who may not have like a job or anything like that. What if that same person is in a country that is experiencing war? They're fighting for their liberation. Would you also say that, oh, you have your internal peace? That should be enough.
To be very honest, if you put that comparison on a table, yeah, freedom comes is in the picture, but it's not really in the picture because they're at war. The mind is at war because it's trying to find peace. Do you understand what I'm saying? But a man can truly set himself on the if this is what's coming this way, then it is what it is. What can a man truly do to acquire freedom when extent of freedom when the whole country is at war? What can one person really do when the whole country is at war, trying to, not trying to give them their freedom? All one can do is be at peace with their self internally.
But that's the thing. If outside of you is conflicting with what's happening within you, how can you really still have real freedom?
That's why I said that when such drama or when such occasion is going on, like all these wars are going on, it's hard for freedom to be in the picture. That's why I began like that. It's hard for freedom to be in the picture. But one can give that freedom to oneself. But if like it's kind of impossible. You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of impossible. If like there's drama going on around you, a lot of drama. It's kind of impossible to basically still look within when there's distractions.
So it would still lean into my point.
That
Externally, if there's a whole war in this instance, like on this analogy, if there's a whole war, if there's something outside of you is forcing you to have a conflicting moment within yourself, because again, to have internal peace, there needs to be outside of you needs to be at peace as well as inside of you.
yeah.
However, given your point, it is a bit difficult to find that level of peace if outside of you is not at peace.
That's if they're at war.
Again, war is an analogy in this instance. But if you're being confronted in a war, the physical sense, or even at war of you're experiencing homelessness, you don't have a job, you don't know when's the next amount of money you're gonna come in to get into.
It depends on the
That
individual.
listen,
The
that
individual.
is why I stated is that if what's externally is not working out for you,
Yeah.
you cannot really truly have internal peace.
But when you began, you took it from a point that I said that when someone like doesn't like is at peace with themselves, whether they don't have a job or whatever, and they are at war, that's what you said. Like that's where you picked it from. Like somebody who is at peace with themselves, even though they don't have a job, they don't have this, they don't have that. I can show you so many homeless people in this world that are at peace with themselves more than even people who are millionaires. So many of them, like it's there. It's live. It depends on you, the person, and that's what I mean by true freedom is really internal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really internal. Like once you come to that agreement of yourself and you're satisfied with whatever motion you're in, you're at peace.
But keep in mind, peace is different from freedom. We're talking about is freedom.
Yeah.
So I know that I describe freedom in
Yeah.
a different way in terms
Yeah.
of it's a choice to be able to maneuver and however it is that you wish. Henceforth is my explanations. But you have yet to make what's your definition
On
of
internal
what
freedom.
I'm not asking for internal freedom.
And I
Asking,
told you already, I don't know what freedom means. I told you already, I know what internal freedom feels like, and I know what that means. I told you that I don't know what
But
freedom means.
given-
But I like your definition. Yeah, I like your
feel you.
definition.
But listen, given this conversation, you already have an idea on what it means.
But what does it really mean though?
However-
But what does it really mean though?
however-
A country can have their slogan as freedom and justice. That's Ghana. Freedom and justice. How many people in Ghana are externally being held like they're whatever. I don't even know how to fucking put it, bruv. How many citizens of Ghana are being held against their free will? A lot of them. But the country is screaming freedom and justice. So I don't know what freedom means. I don't know how to define freedom. I don't know how to define it.
Well,
but I know what internal freedom feels like.
However, you were able to name things that are not freedom, which kind of like it shows again there's a juxtaposition in terms of what's being screamed out and what's being done internally. You see what I'm saying? So in the sense of, you gave a great example of using Ghana. I'll just use the example of America, because America has been founded, like, fought for its freedom against British, and then from there we became our own country, right? However, its very essence of its constitution says we the people. However, we already know that there's loopholes within that phrase.
Yeah.
So we understand that there is unjust behaviors, or like a lot of people, specifically black people in America, are always going to be unjustly treated based off of what they perceive us to look like, or for us to be in the sense of being a slave, still being not human, right to ter, right to ter, right to ter. However, they are able to define what liberty would mean in terms of what you're freely able to do in terms of being an American citizen. One, having the freedom of speech. Two, the right to bear arms. Three, we continue to move forward. We have all of this, all these lists.
Freedom of movement,
freedom of movement, freedom of this. Yes. However, if
but you can't move without a passport.
You can't move without no passport.
Thank you.
You can't move without no driver's license.
So now what is freedom?
So that's where my description again is coming into, where I describe freedom as to having the choice to be able to do what it is that you want to do without outside forces and outside regulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
However, this is where that was from my definition, and why I say that externally, you cannot have true freedom unless you are able to change what's happening externally around you.
You just said externally you cannot have true freedom, right?
Externally, you can't have true freedom.
But you believe in external freedom.
Listen, externally, you cannot have true freedom if you don't change what's outside of you externally.
But that is what. So how can you change what's happening outside of you? Tell me.
This is a great explanation I can give you. One, we can fight for our rights by right to bear arms and being able. I'm joking.
I feel you,
but in terms of
that's not the type of explanation I'm trying to get. One person. Let me keep it a question right for you so you can get it. One individual who is in maybe Iran, who's not free, and they need freedom. How can such person, that all the external validations or all the external type of freedom they would need has been taken away from them? How can they find external freedom?
How can they find
how can they change their circumstances to have freedom? Since you don't believe in external freedom, but in order to get external freedom, you gotta change your external situations going on around you, right?
Yes.
So how can that person change it?
How they can change it?
Yeah, the war that's going on around them.
So what's around them?
The war that's going on around them. Because you gave me an example of war before, so I'm also giving you that heavy sort of activity that can go on that I feel like cannot be changed externally. Cannot change your external freedom, but it can help your internal freedom. It can't help your internal freedom, but you can give yourself that internal freedom. Do you know what I'm saying? So now I want you to explain to me, for me to get an understanding, and to the viewers, how basically one can change the external ways of gaining freedom even when they're at war.
I would say is that what's important to always know is that you have a choice. You have a choice to follow said rules and regulations, and you also have a choice not to. I'm in the space of being a rebel, a true rebel. So, and that means is, especially when it comes to conflicts or even war that's happening outside of you, I would always be more on the space of being more advantageous to making sure that you secure is your liberties and your rights, whether it means to uphold, like, bear arms, whatever it is, just to kind of fight for your freedom.
Yeah.
So that's the external freedom that I am vouching for, is to continue to be a rebel in a state that is forcing you to comply.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to systemic racism, when it comes to oppression, when it comes to all of these different
Yeah.
attributes, the very essence of even me speaking up is a form of a rebellion. You know, so a form of educating yourself, making sure that you are well versed in terms of any other laws that they try and throw at you, you can spit it right back at them. Also, being well aware of your own capabilities, remembering that at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you could do whatever it is that you want.
Yeah.
You are not limited to what this life or what this society has bestowed upon us to
Yeah.
have us believe that this is what it is. To truly acquire a sense of freedom, you
Yeah.
need to be able to understand that you can change your external factors by not having such a high what is it, don't believe in it in something so highly. Always believe in the fact that we created said rules, we can change said rules. There's nothing that's gonna limit you from doing
Yeah,
that.
but to be honest, it's easier said than done. You can't say this to a 7-year-old. You can't say this to a 14-year-old. You can't say this to a 15-year-old. Or you can't say this to one individual to go and basically, start that to basically end the war in their country. Do you know how many people in Iran or how many people in Israel have the same mindset and nothing has changed?
Again,
Yeah, 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 you wait. I'm London. The points you gave are very valid. Like they're so valid. I am not disregarding it or not saying that people shouldn't try to change their external ways on gaining external freedom. It's valid, but to the war, to the people in war and stuff, I feel like if they look more within, yeah, if they look more within, and once you're at peace with yourself and your state of mind, like you'll be cool. And you said like to be able to like be rebellious, voice out whenever they want, do all of those stuff. Yeah, all of those stuff makes sense, but it all begins from the inside. It all begins from the inside. Like you're not trying to, you can't fix the outside just to make the inside better. But once you fix your inside, your outside will be better. You get a different view on things. Especially when you clearly said that external freedom looks like right to talk, freedom to move, freedom to do this, and they are still holding you away from that. So if you are not free to do all those stuff, even though that's the definition they're giving you on how you can be free, then how else can you truly be free? Then that means you gotta find it within.
so that's why I was saying that you need to be able to change those external factors that would contribute to what you would believe is to be externally free. You see what I'm
But
saying?
how can you change those factors?
That's what I was already
Like being
explaining.
rebellious, being all of those
So
stuff and that, right?
those are what I would name
Yeah,
as an example.
yeah,
But it's also important to also understand that these rules and regulations have been set forth upon us to be able to control us.
yeah,
Therefore, once you recognize that it's a form of control, then there's an opportunity for you to be able to see that there's a way out. There's a way
yeah,
to release it. And that is the stance that I am here for. Is
yeah,
that in order for you to be able to attribute true sense of peace or true freedom within internally, you need to make sure that your external matches your internal.
yes.
Because you can be at peace with yourself all you want, but however, if there's a war outside of you, then how can you really truly be in true sense of peace and freedom?
But my thing is, the only reason why there's war outside of you is because there's war inside of you. That's my thing. The only reason why there's war outside is because there's no peace inside. So then to fix outside, fix inside, and you see everything different. You know what I'm saying? Like one can really go out and chase external freedom. Like one can go out and chase external freedom or try to fix everything about trying to gain external freedom. But with themselves, the inside no be correct. Maybe, let's say, a true rebel who wants to, you know, Black Lives, free all our slaves, maybe from Congo. Somebody can, get up and want to just do all of those stuff, right? But just because they didn't fix their inside proper, they don't get a clear understanding on the plan. If you just try to attack the outside when your inside is damaged, you're just gonna crash. That is one reason why I feel like the is it Cameroon? No, the Burkina Faso president currently, Ibrahim Traore, the army guy. That's why I feel like he's untouchable. Cause within him, he's he's free. Oh. He's a serious peace within himself. That he's able to see all the external wahalas. And now he's putting things into place.
So, would you say that true freedom
Yeah.
is more from the individual aspect, or is it something that's supposed to be done in a community?
Babe, we all came to this world alone and we are gonna go alone. What do you mean true freedom is with somebody else? Yeah.
Because
You came here alone, didn't it?
I feel you, but how can one be comfortably saying like I am free when I know that someone is still enslaved to the system? How can
Hey, Jesus.
how could one really be free if people is still locked in? Are we free?
So my thing is, yeah, once you are internally free, you can now free all those people. But if your internal system, if internally you're not free, how can you go try and free those other people? How? How can you go and free people when you're not freeing yourself inside? You get what I'm saying?
But the thing is that it's important to recognize that you are not free. It's not even just an internal thing, but it's an external one as well.
To recognize that you're not free?
Yes,
No.
that's the first step, is acknowledgement, recognition.
But
also,
what it is once you accept you are not free, you will truly never ever be free. Once you accept you are not free, you will truly never be free. But once you're able to know and accept that, yeah, you're free, you can do all of this stuff, or you've seen the loopholes in how to be free, you now start rallying people, sharing messages, educating them on the loopholes and the ways and how we can gain true freedom.
exactly.
Thank you.
No, exactly. Because recognizing loopholes that are outside of you, so the external factors
But
that will limit your
Babe,
external freedoms
no,
to prevent you from being able to share.
You're taking the valid point away.
I'm not.
Because the person who's seen the loopholes couldn't have seen the loopholes if he wasn't internally free.
Listen.
You have to be free internally.
Listen.
You have to be free.
But even if you're free internally, you still have to contend with the external freedom. You still have to contend with the fact that you still are not free.
But what it is you started this with, can one person truly be free, or does it have to be everybody? And I gave you my point, letting you know that you came to this world alone and you're gonna go alone. So you begin the freedom with yourself. You begin with yourself, and then now you can share and educate people on how you became free.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be internally free, or you can be internally damaged and still try to fix loopholes on the external side just to give you that internal freedom. No, that's not valid for me. Maybe it makes sense with you, but my whole point, or my whole speech, all I'm trying to say is internal freedom is the essence of freedom. It's the birth of freedom. That is how I see it.
So then, question for you: how does one gain
Internal freedom. Thank you for that question. Now this is where you're coming to my side. So make us school you. So internal freedom all begins from, number one, ability to know that you are the one. You are connected directly with the source. Number two, you stand and believe every motion or everything within yourself. Number three, you believe.
Believe in what?
You just believe.
In what?
The ability to believe. Yes, to believe in what is. I'm speaking in code, so take it out.
You need to be talking to them.
As I'm talking to you, you're talking to them, so we're there inside. But yeah, the ability to believe, right? The ability to believe is very strong. And I feel like to really gain internal freedom, let's look on the external side. You don't have a passport to be able to travel, but you believe within you you are going to travel. You are free from the fact that you're being held against your will to be able to move freely. From when you believed that you travel, oh, I'm telling you, that's where internal freedom begins. So now you're internally free because you've accepted and known that you are gonna get there. That's not gonna hold you. And now externally, you now find the loopholes. Okay, cool. Now I need to do this. Now I need to do that. Now I need to do that.
How, but
You
how,
ask me what internal freedom looks like,
but
right?
listen, you were, so you named that source.
Yeah, you need to know directly connected to the source.
Directly connected to source.
Yeah, you need to believe.
You need to be able to believe.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is what it is.
Yeah.
But my thing is that to have gain that wisdom,
Yeah.
it's not something that's going to be
Naturally come to you.
people.
Yeah.
So, and that's the part that
Yeah.
I want to highlight
Yeah.
is the fact that the internal freedom that you are exercising is not a freedom not most will have.
Yeah. They all have it.
Not most will recognize that they have because
I like this one.
because of external factors
Yeah.
that has contaminated
Yeah, brain, right?
the brain.
Thank you.
So henceforth is why I always was in the space of saying
Fixing the external, right?
fixing the external.
But that is where
because if externally people are still in the projection of saying you can't do this, you can't do that.
But don't forget, they're just contaminated.
They're contaminated.
It can be clean. It can
They
be cleansed.
can be cleansed.
They can be cleansed.
Because they're all upholding the very system.
Babes.
Papa, still let go. I'm gonna get my shit out.
Go get it out. You see the road and you're coming from the left. I'm coming from the right. So we have to just come and meet on this main highway and hit the highway.
Yes.
And how I see that going is like I've accepted and I know that external freedom is a major thing that's needed for everybody to acquire freedom. But at what point does one need internal freedom? That's where we have to meet on the road. Like, you know.
And this is where I would say is that you always need internal freedom.
So it begins from there, no? You don't believe it begins from there? Like that's the birth.
I hear
The sense
you.
of it. Otherwise, you go and get the external, and you have to come back and get the internal freedom.
And I feel you. And I think that's where I'm in the space of the external freedom won't be able to be maintained if you don't have the internal freedom in check.
Thank you. Thank you. So you get this update where you dey make and talk, sir.
Because it's true. More so because of the fact that this is where I would even highlight. There's this theory, or there's this by this theorist, Maslow. Like if y'all familiar, Maslow's hierarchy, and it's basically a triangle pyramid that basically kind of incorporates 5 main things that kind of incorporates a human being, which is like, you know, having making sure that your psychological needs are met, which is a form of security, making sure you have money, you have food, etc. Then the next one is, again, the next level up would be safety, having a home, place to lay your head, shelter. And then third, love and belonging, to be in a family, to be in a, you know, respective place. And then after that, you have your self-esteem or your esteem, which is where your high level respect, where this is where your true inner person relies on, you know? And then after that, the one at the top is self-actualization, which is your mind, how you tap into the world. And with this great hierarchy, he basically kind of breaks it down is that if you don't have any of these met first, it'll be very difficult for you to be able to tap in internally, to be able to tap into that freedom that you are seeking. Because if everything outside of you is in disarray, it'll be very, very difficult to kind of keep a steady and calm mind.
Of course.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true, though.
So that's where, like, again, where I was just coming from is that if you don't have anything in order and check outside of you, it'll
Yeah.
be very difficult for you to be able to tap in on what's inside of you.
Yeah, that's very true. But I just want everybody who's watching to know that the fact that you don't have all these cars, all this money, if you don't have a document, you're an immigrant, all of that. The fact that you don't have these doesn't mean you're not free. You know what I'm saying? You can be free without all these stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, guys, me, I'm talking from experience. I'm talking from experience. Me, I was held against my rights for over 10 years, but I was the most freest person in the whole world. I was so free. I was free. You know what I'm saying? I was very free, and I believed that that is not what's gonna basically I believe that that's not gonna
Limit you and
limit
your.
me, and then like that's not gonna describe who I am.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we've given you guys so much information on freedom.
And I feel as well is that what I really do love when you do describe about the freedom, because it does start from internally, spiritually, because to have that real level of peace of mind is being able to free yourself from the emotional baggage, free yourself from any.
Yeah, so I declare some one or two things for this side.
So yeah, freeing yourself from that emotional baggage, freeing yourself from mental slavery.
Yeah.
Okay? Bob Marley had said it very well in terms of don't allow outside forces to cloud yourself and cloud from, like, cloud you from you recognizing who you are.
Yeah.
Even, what was it, I'm just gonna paraphrase, Harriet Tubman had mentioned that she could have freed a lot more slaves if they recognized that they were never slaves. You know what I'm saying? It really does start is from the
And
mind.
that's what I'm saying. Internal, once you know that you acknowledge it, you're free from it.
Yeah.
And automatically the updates from for that will just be
We'll all
like
follow
will be just
through.
be falling and coming towards you and that. But once you accept that you are not free, you are not free. You will never be free.
Yeah. So once you words hold a lot of power,
Yeah,
and
man.
the belief where it's very important. If you believe in the fact that you are a free person, you are a spiritual being having human experience, therefore you are not locked into any of what this
Yep.
physical thing that this 3D life has
It's physical
presented to
trap.
us. This is a physical trap. This is a box. It ain't nothing. You provide all of the details. You know what I'm saying? You give it life. You create what it is that you want into this existence. Don't allow outside forces to create it for you. But
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
You know what I'm
today's
saying?
pod.
Giving you guys a lot of information, man. And this is where we're gonna bring the podcast to an end. Catch us on another episode on the Global Experience, where our words are the most valuable sounds you shall hear in your day. You know what I'm saying? This is not only a podcast, it's a sanctuary. We are changing the world, changing the globe. You get me? So
Yeah,
yeah, man.
man. Yeah, man.
Tap
Yeah,
in,
man.
tap in, tap in, and we'll see you in the next episode, man.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on that post notification so you don't miss nothing. Nothing.
Active.